guys, welcome to the Homestead. So today we're going to talk about, are we a nation of laws or are we a nation of rulers? Lawmakers or rulers? Here's the deal, guys. Like you were probably watching all the information on the internet last week or over the last week about the ATF trying to implement a new rule that concerns face-to-face firearm sales, something that has been done in this country forever. Now they want to attach a new rule on an old law passed in the 1960s, the National or the Gun Control Act of 1968, I believe, and they want to attach a new rule to that. And if you break that rule, you would be guilty of a felony, face up to a year in prison, and probably fines. This is not a law, it's a rule. It's a law that was passed in the 1960s, and they're attaching a new rule to that law and hoping that no one questions them on it. Congress never passed that rule. Congress never said. The elected representatives who make laws in this country never voted on this, never approved this rule. They passed that law in the 1960s, but this new rule was never voted on in Congress. And then it dawns on me, because I just did that video the other day on ceiling fans and new gas stove regulations. All of these are rules. Every single one of them. It says new DOE rule on stoves. There's also been that new rule on light bulbs. Biden administration passed it. They enacted a new rule on light bulbs. I'm going to do a video, I think, coming up on why we don't use lights in our house. That's one of the questions we get an awful lot, have throughout the years. Zach, how come you don't have lights in your house? What's up with the lights? Or lack of lights? I think I'm going to do a video on that, because as I'm learning more and more, I'm really glad I don't have lights in my house. And I don't want LEDs in my house. The more I'm reading about the studies of LEDs and fluorescents, I don't want them in my house. Or as little as possible whenever I need them, but very little. We still use lanterns, the clean kerosene burning lanterns. Anyway, all that. The new DOE rule on ceiling fans. These are rules that have bypassed laws completely, bypassed the legislative process of writing and passing laws, because Congress, the elected representatives and senators are involved in that process of writing the law and then sending it to the president, and the president signs into law or vetoes that law, or that bill. And then, so both parties, both sections, you know, the Congress and the president are really involved in the lawmaking process. And oftentimes the administration, the president, heavily influences the writing of those laws. So they're both involved. But these unelected bureaucrats at these government agencies, they're not elected. They should have no ability to affect laws that would definitely put a felony on someone, or fines or prison time. These are not laws. These are rules. And so I asked the question, are we a nation of laws or are we a nation of rulers? We're supposed to be a nation of laws, not a nation of rulers. Why is this happening? It's completely bizarro world. Now, about a couple weeks ago, there was an elderly widow in Fort Smith, Arkansas, who sent me home with her gun collection that her husband, her late husband, years ago had collected. He passed away years ago. And she said, Zach, I really wish you could hopefully find a new home for these. And if you can sell them, I could really use the money. And I said, yeah, absolutely. I will see if I can do that. But then I hear about last week this new ATF rule that would give me a felony and a year in prison if I did a face-to-face firearm sale like this of a weapon. This is the 1903 Springfield. It's almost 100 years old. The serial number says it was made, basically based on the serial number, it was made in 1928. It's almost 100 years old. It's in fantastic shape. The barrel is marked United States Marine Corps. This rifle, at one point, belonged to a United States Marine, or maybe several. Maybe it fought in World War II. I don't know. I don't know the history of it, but it's a really nice, amazing looking 1903 Springfield. Almost 100 years old. But if I was to take this and openly offer it on the market and sell it to the wrong person, I could go to prison for a year? Is that where we are in America? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to understand this is where we are today. And the way I can drive that home the best is I want you to go to Google and I want you to enter in whatever agency, government agency you want, whether it's the CDC, whether it's the USDA, whether it's the FDA, whether it's the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission. They're really big into this. And all you do is you type in, let's just say ATF or SEC rule, 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 and then hit the news items for that search inquiry. Look at all of the new rules that all of these government agencies are enacting that are never seen, written, or passed by Congress. Are we a nation of laws, or are we being ruled upon? Are we being ruled over? This is the exact reason people rose up and fought off King George. We didn't want to be ruled over. We wanted to be a nation of laws that we passed, that we had our involvement in. The ATF knows that that law, that rule would never pass through Congress to ban private face-to-face. They've tried for years, and it won't pass Congress. Why? Because Congress is elected by the people, and the people say, no, we will not do that. And so they can't get it. So let's figure out another way around this. Let's go ahead and enact a rule that would ban face-to-face private firearm sales and prevent an elderly widow from getting a little bit of money from a collection that her late husband spent years collecting. That's where we are today. Tyranny. Absolute, mindless, ruthless tyranny. And it only goes downhill from here. History tells us that it only goes downhill from here. So there's a number of things I wanted to mention. There's been a number of rules. If you Google this, Google search like I'm asking you to do, you will find USDA, FDA, CDC rules on all kinds of food items, including something we talk about often on this channel, and that's raw milk. There's no law passed by Congress that says you can't have raw milk. You can't transport, raw milk to a friend or neighbor. That's a rule. I found a new CDC rule on dog imports. There's a new law. See, these rules are not laws. These rules are attached to laws that have been passed before. And that's how they're enacting their tyranny. There's a new rule that says SEC charges 5 advisory firms with custody rule violations. Not custody law violations, because no law was passed by Congress. No, they violated rules that were attached to an old law passed by Congress. Do you see how they're enacting this tyranny through a back door? That's how they're doing this. The SEC and Ripple, if you've ever heard of this whole thing with the Ripple company, it's a cryptocurrency company, and it's been going on for a couple of years now, maybe a few years by now, and Ripple is guilty of violating SEC rules. They haven't broken any laws. No, they broke rules that were attached to old laws that Congress passed, but the rules were never passed or written or, even seen by Congress. This is tyranny. So my question then is this how they bring about the CBDC? Because we all know it's well known right now. We've seen the reports, we've seen the news, there's no way a CBDC will pass Congress. It won't. There's no way. But can they enact a CBDC through rules? Yeah, Congress, we don't need you. We'll take some obscure law that was written years ago for the Federal Reserve or the Treasury, and we'll just attach a rule that will slowly implement through a back door the acceptance and use of a central bank digital currency, a CBDC. Thus getting rid of all cash, thus getting rid of any sort of over-the-counter means of paying currency or money. To me, that's how they're going to do it. They're doing everything else that way. So why stop there? Bottom line is this. Do we have lawmakers or do we have rulers? Because the lawmakers are basically inept at this point. The lawmakers have no power. The elected representatives that make this a representative republic have no power, they have no control, because the rulers can do whatever they want, pass whatever they want, and base it on old laws that were passed by Congress. Absolutely sickening. It's absolutely disgusting. But this is and people are so angry. They're really angry. Let me know what you think. Stupid should hurt. And eventually it's gonna hurt. The torches and pitchforks will come, my friends. History says it will. So you can find our best-selling shirt, Stupid Should Hurt, down in the description below. Link is down below. If we had more hurt in this world, we'd have an awful, awful lot less rulers. Don't you think? Also, real quick, our Perfect Pickler products are back online. They're back in stock, and this is your last chance to register for the Freedom Conference over at Freedom Hill Community Church. If you're in the St. Louis area or anywhere close by, you can register for free to go to that 2-day conference. You can go to freedomhillcommunity.com and register for the Freedom Conference, and it's going to be all about probiotics and fermentation. It's coming up this week, and you don't want to miss it. If you have nothing to do this week, and this will be a great time for you to go there and learn all about this stuff. It's going to be a really good conference. I wish I could make it. I really wanted to go, but there's too many things going on in my schedule. I can't make it up there. But you know, the person who's going to be giving that conference talk is a former owner of the Perfect Pickler website and company, and she has her and her husband David have an amazing amount of knowledge when it comes to this. I highly suggest you go check out that conference if you can make it. It's completely free. freedomhillcommunity.com, the Freedom Conference. All right, guys. Hey, see you next time in the Homestead. Bye.
The largest Roman gold stash ever found was in Trier, Germany in 1993. 2,500 Roman coins worth over $1.2 million in melt value today was pulled from an excavation site. The obvious lesson here is that gold holds its value over time. Now, take this stack of old Soviet Union rubles. Do you know how much these are worth? Zilch. It's paper. It holds no value, and like all paper and government fiat currencies, will not last the test of time. Nobody 1,000 years from now is going to unearth these or these and jump for joy at the wealth that they have just uncovered. Only one historical example of wealth preservation has stood the test of time over and over again: the safeguard of physical gold and silver. If you have spent your entire working life putting money into a 401k or other savings and investment products, they have likely made pulling your money out either very hard or almost impossible. Genesis Gold Group can help you put that money safely into a physical gold and silver product that, like the Roman coins, will maintain their buying power long into the future. Call Genesis Gold Group today, right now, and let them develop a strategy for your savings, 401k, or self-directed IRA. A strategy of physical gold and silver. You can call the number on the screen or visit them at genesisgoldgroup.com. And be sure to say that you heard about them from an American Homestead.
Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the Homestead that we make here on the Homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. Oh wait.